my buddy. We making all of this money. Yeah, I know it's rude to be bragging. They never catching us lacking. Me and my buddy, we working hard for this money.
For the evening, Mr. Dennis Michael Hogan Jr. As always, on the 4Da Boys podcast. And joining me for the evening, my amazing, wonderful, smart, generous, courteous, amazing best friend, Mr. Felix Manuel Despial the Third. Mr. Felix, damn. How are you today?
I am fantastic, my best friend and buddy of mine. Doing pretty good today.
Best friend.
Because it's been that long. It's been that long. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
But we are here back again. Your lovely co-host here on episode number
5 of the 4Da Boys podcast. Look, guys, Felix, how do you feel after doing 5 episodes of this, man?
Where the fuck are all these subscribers at? That's how I feel.
I feel like I want to put my mic down and just retire right now.
Right, after 5 episodes and only only a handful of views. Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all been pretty good. You know, big chilling. Happy to, that we're keeping it going, trying to get a routine out of this,
Trying to.
We're busy with our day-to-day lives, he's busy, I'm busy, but, the fact that we could take time out of our days to do this and try to make something out of it, really keep it going, that
trying
means
to
something.
Brighten someone's day is really our goal.
Right. Trying to brighten someone's day.
See, if someone sees this, they feel a little bit happier than they were maybe a few minutes ago.
Or if they feel a little bit more depressed and, want to end it all, it's... I don't blame you. But I'm kidding. That was a joke. Oh, man. Yeah, but, no, yeah. Happy, again, really happy to keep this going and, just trying our best out here, taking things one step at a time and maybe one day, praying to God we do, but maybe one day we make it big out there. We make it big.
Yeah, we become Mr. Beast or some shit.
All right, stop it. There's only one Mr. Beast. Stop it.
That's fair.
Stop it right now. Stop
maybe
it.
I show speed.
Maybe I show speed. Now you're talking. Now you're freaking talking. Now you're speaking my language.
Ooh.
All right.
But, Felix, the first thing I wanted to bring up today is, have you seen the new, they announced the Borderlands movie?
Yes, I did. Borderlands, for any of you guys that don't know, is a pretty decently known video game brand that, you play as certain characters in a world called a Vault Hunter. It has made over, I would say, about a couple games already, including its own, I would say, pretty decent Telltale game series for any of you guys that fuck with Telltale and all that. But, yep, I played a lot of Borderlands 3 recently. I love it. My favorite character will be, and to add on to this later, but will forever be Claptrap. Because Claptrap really just out here in the game just saying a bunch of out-of-pocket stuff. And for those of you guys who don't know, Claptrap will be voiced by the legendary Jack Black in the live-action movie coming to you very soon.
Yeah, mean, that's very exciting for myself, who, I've only played Borderlands maybe a handful of times. And I love Claptrap. He's hilarious with his most out-of-the-pocket comments. So, to him, for me to see that he's going to be voiced by probably one of the best actors of all time, it helps me.
Fuck actors, just all around. Sorry, buddy, all around great guys, all the time.
No, that's fair.
Making
honestly.
His music in Tenacious D with his band Kyle Gass. Oh my god.
Hilarious.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Some of the greatest of all time.
Right. School. Now, for those of you who grew up in our 2000 generations or just before the year 99, this fucking guy right here. This guy right here. School of Rock. Oh my god. School of Rock. Come on now. I know you've seen that.
Oh my god. School of Rock was my
For his most iconically known role, he plays Po, Kung Fu Panda.
Yep. Also, Nacho Libre.
Nacho
Libre.
No, you don't say Libre. You just
Oh.
it's just Nacho.
Say Nacho. It's been a while since I've watched that movie, honestly. But I mean, Felix, let's look at this whole cast. I mean, it's not the only. Jack Black is not the only one. I mean, you have famous people. You have people that have been in good movies, like Jamie Lee Curtis. You have Kevin Hart.
Young Jamie Lee in Halloween. I would fuck the shit out
Ooh, yes. Jamie in Halloween as a whole, she just looks like a murderer.
I'm talking about when she did the first one.
I mean,
And the beautiful young Jamie Foxx.
beautiful one, Jamie Foxx. What?
Young Jamie.
Your exact words were Jamie Foxx.
Young, a beautiful young.
Jamie Foxx. Those are your exact words.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Sorry, guys. I had a massive brain fart there for a second.
It's all good, Felix.
I'm going to take the L on that one.
I mean, I feel like we all have those every now and then. So, yeah. So, speaking of farts, Felix, not to get on you too bad, but who's your favorite baseball team?
He's been waiting for this, y'all. He's been waiting for this, y'all. Before I bring up my team, let me know this guy, as he's Boston's very own. He's Boston's very own professional dick sucker, too, because, oh my God, did he not stop bragging on his team, the Red Sox. Boston Red Sox are his team, baby, now and forever. Me, however, I am from the Big Apple, New York City, New York.
You didn't drink the Kool-Aid?
Not even New York. I'm from the Bronx, actually. You know, that's tu sabe. But,
Thank God he didn't drink the Kool-Aid, though, and became a Yankees fan.
Oh, yeah, fuck the Yankees. But, I am a Mets fan.
But he did drink a little bit of the Kool-Aid, because you look at his football team. Who's your football team, Felix?
I'm not talking about football, dickhead.
So?
No.
About sports team in general.
No. We don't have to bring that up.
No?
No.
We don't have to bring up the fact that you've never seen your team win a Super Bowl on live?
I knew this was coming.
Oh, sorry.
I knew it.
Sorry, too personal? But anyway, back to the topic of discussion. Felix, your team just recently went up against my team, did they not?
Yes, they did.
And as a matter of fact, Felix, unfortunately for your team, you guys lost 6-1. Now, to be fair, credit where credit is due. They won the first game of the 3-game series they had this weekend.
Yes.
5-4.
Yep.
But then they lost the last 2 games. First Saturday 8-6, and then yesterday 6-1. Now, fair game. Mets are a good team when they hit. I mean, I feel like every team is a good team when they hit.
So
what happened, man? What is happening with your team? They just can't get it together. I mean, we're both near the bottom of our divisions, but right now the Mets are 56-53, while the Red Sox are 53-47.
Yeah. Again, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the last podcast. I am a Mets fan by family and by a few games that I have seen. I haven't kept up with them for a minute, so I can't give too much input on this per se. I know we've just come under new management. We have a whole new owner who I know for a fact is a whopping big-ass billionaire, but somehow can't seem to get our team out of this fucking rut. I would say if we had a few more hits, things would have been flowing a lot more. Like you said, every baseball team, you get a good hit in, everybody just kind of follows suits afterward.
Yeah,
going offense, defense. You'll get those one in a million chances. A right fielder catches a line drive going mad fast, and when you think he can't catch it, boom, he just dives right in for the catch. But
you look at your top 4 batters, and that's pretty much like the meat of your order. You got Brandon Nimmo, 2 for 4. Good eye. Good, Francisco Lindor, 1 for 4. Something McNeil, 1 for 4. Pete Alonso, 1 for 3. 2 strikeouts, by the way, for Mr. Pete Alonso. So, overall, I'd say, but, these games don't matter when we're not in October contending for a World Series. So, hey, but you know what? You know what team's not going to be contending for the World Series either? Put your hand up. New York Yankees.
That's true.
That's
true. It brings joy to my heart whenever I see the Yankees take a big L. I'm sorry. It's been a long going thing in my house. I'm in a Hispanic household. Half of us are Mets, half of us are Yankees fans. So I'm probably gonna end up talking to one of my cousins later and be like, "Yo, man, how did it feel watching those Yankees getting their asses kicked?" But even though our team just played each other, the one thing him being a Boston guy, me being a New York guy, can get behind is that fuck the Yankees, man.
Yeah, Yankees suck, bro.
I don't care. They had a better shot when they had Jeter.
They had a better shot when they had Jeter. I'll give them that. Before A-Rod.
Before A-Rod. Yeah, but enough about baseball, buddy. Anything else you would like to bring up today on the Lovely Podcast?
Yeah, I got a few more things. If you're down, are you down for discussion?
I'm down with the sickness.
Ooh. Wow. So, one thing I read online, Felix, I don't know if you've read this online. I think I sent you the article, but Elizabeth Olsen wants a Scarlet Witch / X-Men crossover in the MCU.
I read that article a little bit.
Personally, I'm a big fan, so yeah, I would be down for that. I like Scarlet Witch. Elizabeth Olsen plays an amazing Scarlet Witch, and the X-Men have been slept on movies. I'd say they're good. They're not going to be rated like top 10 Marvel movies of all time, but they're good to watch when you're bored or have nothing else to do. Felix, what's your personal opinion? How do you feel? How do you feel as someone who's a bit more of a movie guru than I am? As someone who actually watches movies for a living. Earlier you were just watching... What was that movie you were watching earlier?
It wasn't a movie, actually. It was a TV show. It came out in 2018. It's called The Chi. I only watched it because of TikTok. TikTok was making a few references of it, and it looks like a pretty good show so far, guys. I'm gonna give it a solid 7 out of 10.
Oh.
7 out of 10. It's called The Chi. I know 1 or 2 people in it. One of them I know being former rapper turned actor, Jacob Lattimore. He's in it, and I followed him for a bit. So I followed him for a bit, so I figured I'd catch him and see what's good on this show. But now back to the Elizabeth Olsen Scarlet Witch X-Men crossover. Yes, I am all for it. My only concern is I want to see how Kevin Feige or anybody of Marvel would work that in somehow, because now we have so many big names from X-Men coming into the MCU right now. Professor X, he's now in the MCU because of Multiverse of Madness.
Hugh Jackman
now will be in the MCU per Deadpool, because Deadpool has just joined the MCU. So Deadpool 3 will now be an MCU movie.
Starring one of the greatest actors of alive right now, Mr. Ryan Reynolds.
Two great actors that are alive right now.
Yep. Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman.
Have to correct him sometime. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I just want to see how MCU is going to bring her in with the X-Men. I don't really know much to say. Will they bring back Femke Jensen, who plays Jean Grey, who went nuts in the first 3 X-Men movies?
Yep.
Or see if I can say his name right. James Marsden, who played Cyclops. A lot of pretty good, a lot of actors that I'm hoping to see come back in this X-Men crossover.
You know who another one I want to see? Jennifer Lawrence as that chameleon character that can shape in any form. I forget her. Mystique, I want to say her name is.
Chameleon character, he said, guys. Let the record show. He said chameleon character.
The reason I said chameleon, Felix, is because a chameleon can blend into its surroundings. Just like her character in the X-Men movies could blend into their surroundings.
Blending into your surroundings and shape-shifting. Two very different things.
Same thing.
No, really not.
I know shape-shifting, but the same concept.
Yes, to blend in with the crowd and everything like that, yes.
Thank you.
But still, make sure you know what you're talking about, buddy.
So I'm excited to see how they see if they can get her on their board with that, to paint her blue again.
One thing I'm going to be very interested to see is, technically, guys, if anyone here reads comics, like I do every once in a while, Scarlet Witch is, by default, the daughter of Magneto. So that'd be a nice little twist or turn in I would like to see. In the X-Men universe, they already have a Quicksilver played by Evan Peters. Great actor right there. So it'd be nice to see how that would turn in.
Sorry.
For any of you guys who saw me make that face, Genius here decided to step on my foot.
Sorry, buddy. I didn't do it on purpose, I promise.
I'm just kidding. Bottom line, guys, I'm excited, and I just can't wait to see how MCU ties this in. So, if Elizabeth Olsen wants this to happen, please, I hope someone up there, the writers or Kevin Feige, is actually listening and wanting to pay attention.
Now, Felix, you say hope the writers are, but Felix, aren't the writers on strike?
Yes. This will now be a nice little turn to my segment, guys. The American Writers Guild of Hollywood and all stuff are going on strike right now. For anyone who hasn't been paying attention or up to date on that, they are currently on strike against Hollywood and anything having to do with TV shows and movies alone. And the reasons are pretty much understandable. I don't have much to go on, but I will tell you, the whole strike had begun because writers for big movies, TV shows, anything going on nowadays that you see on TV, whether it goes to Netflix, to streaming, or all that, they are not getting paid as much as they should. For more background into this, another example, the movie Oppenheimer had just gotten released. 4 pretty big actors of the movie, while the screening was about to begin, surprisingly enough, left. They had left before it was... The 2 I know the most would be Cillian Murphy and Matt Damon, and then 2 others who I believe... I've forgotten, I can't remember.
Florence Pugh, I know you said was one of them, I believe.
Oh, yeah. She was one of them, and then somebody else was one of them. I can't remember if it was Robert Downey Jr. or somebody else. But, they had left the screening before it even started, all in support of the strike, Writers Guild Strike of America. And I'm all for them on that part. You can't make these great movies and get such a big cutback. I don't know how much a Hollywood writer takes back from making these scenes on TV and movies and all that. So, but I'm gonna assume it's a lot. For almost every single one of them to start, especially for a strike to ensue in all this. So and my biggest hope for this is I hope not a lot of good projects get put on hold. There are so many good movies that I saw a while ago that are coming up on screen and whatnot that are supposed to come out, and they all look like pretty good stuff. So, like I said, all I'm gonna say to this is Hollywood, pull your head out your ass. You pay these people about enough to, if you can get them into here to come up with these ideas for these
movies and TV shows, I would say pay them their due diligence. Like, come on. It shouldn't be such a big fight over every small thing. And for the writers, I hope they get what they're worth. I hope they get what they're worth. Put a lot of heart and soul into this stuff. So many projects have been put on hold or not streamed or not going to be streamed or whatever, and it sucks. It really sucks. There's a lot of stuff I was really looking forward to. Well, I'd say that's about enough on my segment. I say we start delivering into one of my best friends' segments. Mike, anything on your mind you'd like to share with us today?
As a matter of fact, Felix, and thank you for that wonderful segment. I mean, that was awesome. That was very informing. Informed me very well on this whole writer's strike, and and needless to say, I hope the writers get paid too. I'm sure the writers have families, just like the actors who portray the characters.
Oh yeah.
So I hope they get paid just as much as I hope their actors get paid. But to transition in my segment, I know I'm not going to talk about movies, and that's mostly been the topic of our discussions. But me being the wrestling head, I wanted to bring up some wrestling. And I wanted to talk about two stories in particular. And one of those stories being about one singular person, and another being about a tag team match coming up on this Saturday. The first story about the individual person is, I want to talk about Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio, when he came in, white meat babyface with his father Ray, and when he turned his back, we didn't know how to feel, but ever since he has turned on his father and all that is good, he has never looked back, and it's been for the better. Pairing him with Rhea Ripley was probably the best thing. Pairing him with the Judgment Day as a whole is probably the best thing you could have ever done for him. His career, at least. And I was watching, and I saw this past Wednesday he faced off against Wesley. Now, I will preface this by saying that Wesley is probably one of the best North American champions that we've ever had in NXT. That goes across the original NXT 2.0 and this new thing, this revamped black and gold one. Wesley, one of the most dominant, I believe the longest reign, most title defenses, one of the greatest North American champions of all time. Well, he took on Dominic Mysterio, and Dominic actually ended up winning. So it's Dominic's first singles title as a wrestler. And I get it, because you don't want to take the belt off someone on the main roster like a Gunther or an Austin Theory unless it's like an LA Knight or maybe a Drew McIntyre. So why not have him take the belt off Wesley? Why not? It'll only do Wesley right in the end, because I'm sure he'll gain that thing back eventually. So when he does, the story will be bigger, and the crowd will be more behind Wesley than they were before. And my second topic is I want to talk about the tag match for the Tag Team Championships, MJF and Adam Cole versus FTR.
Now those are a bunch of top guys right there.
Very top guys. I mean, they're AEW World Champions, for God's sake. So, of course, they're top guys.
Now, I would be very much happy. I'm going to have my 2 cents to this. I'm very happy when FTR whoops MJF's ass. Don't have nothing against Adam Cole. MJF needs to get a stick shoved up his ass. That's all.
I'm personally a fan of MJF because I love his work. I think he's the consummate professional. He stays a heel no matter what. I mean, he's looked like a babyface, but we all know what's going to happen eventually. But I've loved this dynamic between MJF and Adam Cole so far. I mean, if you watch Dynamite the last few weeks, and you've seen MJF and Adam Cole, they're the most hilarious duo. Whether they're mashing up their entrances, or they're going to a spicy restaurant in Massachusetts, or they're at a bar or at their gym. You couldn't have two opposite personalities and it works on TV. I love every second of it. So, my personal opinion, I love it. I wish that it didn't have to end, but you know damn well it's going to end eventually. But it's going to be sad. It's going to be sad. But I'll still buy the t-shirt. I'll still buy Felix's t-shirt.
If it's not an FTR shirt, I don't fucking want it.
Oh, no, it'll be a CM Punk shirt.
I'll take CM Punk over MJF.
No. I'll take anyone over there. So enough about my segment. Felix, I read something the other day, and I thought, because I'm not a big movie goer, as you know. I'm not a big movie watcher, as you know.
Oh, I know.
But one thing I do like to watch when I do watch movies are Marvel movies. And I saw this post on credit to CBR.com. And they wrote an article, Kelly Christ wrote an article titled 10 Best MCU Movies, according to IMDb. Now, as we all know, IMDb is rates films. They also give you the cast for the film and kind of give you a trailer and a description of the film. It's a movie lover's dream all in one. It's very informational. Well, I guess this article ranks the top 10 best MCU movies according to the rating on IMDb.com. Felix, have you gotten a chance to read this article? And if so, what is your opinion on the movies on that list?
I've read this article a little bit. I've glanced at it a couple times. It's a pretty interesting list, I will say. It goes from the top down, 10 being the least, 1 being the best. It's a pretty interesting list. Would you like me to read off this list for you, buddy?
Of course.
Okay. For number 10 on the list, starting off right at the bottom, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Not a bad movie.
Not knowing what is next, like if you had read this article and you're like, you haven't scrolled down too far, and all you see is number 10 Guardians, how would you feel? Like without seeing the rest of the list, like if you didn't know that what was on the list is on the list, how would you feel? Would you feel that's a fair rating? Do you feel like there's a movie that could have maybe took in its spot, or what?
I mean, I think it's pretty fair. It wasn't a terrible movie.
No.
It wasn't a terrible movie, but I think I'll go as pretty fair. Then again, I don't know how to rate movies like that, or I don't have that enough experience to say. I'm not a movie critic. What the hell does my opinion matter? I'm just one guy. I'm not a licensed critic. I don't
know. You're a big movie goer, so your opinion could mean a lot.
Again, Guardians Volume 2 did not suck at all whatsoever. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't perfect. It had a nice little median. We got to explore Peter Quill's background, who he is, who the biological dad and who the real dad was. You know, R.I.P. Yondu.
Yep.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Michael Rooker, love you. Did a great Yondu. Oh my God, followed you since Walking Dead, my man.
Oh.
Fantastic. And very happy to have Kurt Russell play his
Yeah.
bio dad. Oh my
Yeah.
God, he was funny. Funny up until the point where he revealed himself to be a psychotic, overly powerful celestial planet who was hell-bent on trying to make every other world come together with him or whatever, something like that. And turns out to be the reason Peter's mom also died. So it had its nice little twists and turns. But yeah, I think this is a pretty fair warning. 7.6 out of 10. I'll give that to the film.
Now at number 9, we have Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I enjoy Captain America movies. Just because I don't know. I just enjoy like action films, like overly action films. I love it. Transformers has always been intriguing to me. So it's like when I started watching the Captain America films, they were very intriguing because of the stuff. I mean, not only that, but you have former UFC fighter GSP in the movies, being a bad guy. So that entertained me, seeing him in there, seeing Chris Evans, someone who I watched on Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Oh, for him, that's Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I've seen this man play the Human Torch in Fantastic Four.
Ooh.
For any one of us that remembers those days as our children. Those movies, I'll say back then, were not great, but they were the perfect time for us as kids to have those movies.
Yeah, exactly.
To have those movies, the X-Men movies, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, Fantastic Four movies, 1 and 2, both who I think were not terrible. Could have done more with it, weren't perfect, wasn't great, but you know what, it had that nice little enjoyment for kids to enjoy. So it was a great time for kids at that day and age. And we had Ghost Rider, the Hulk movies, oh my God. Great times. But yes, at number 9, Captain America: Winter Soldier. I'm gonna go ahead with that too. 7.8 out of 10. Thrills with a twisting plot. The Winter Soldier being Steve Rogers' thought to be dead best friend Bucky Barnes, who plays this super dominant bad guy. I did not see him leave not one witness alive. And before the mask came off, oh my God, did he look like a monster from hell?
Sebastian Stan.
Yes.
Plays a great Bucky Barnes.
Great bad guy all around. The long hair and mask again, just
so
compliments
good.
him.
Like Felix, I don't know if you've watched, but did you see the Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show? Not only can Bucky be a badass, but he is also hilarious at times. For no reason.
Yes. I didn't see that show. I thought that show was pretty great as well. Very happy to see Anthony Mackie take on the role of Captain America, as it should be, because that is taken from the Spider-Man movie, guys. This nice trend. It is in Canada then. Anthony Mackie's Falcon is to become the next Captain America. Very happy for it. Very happy to see that. And Bucky had a lot of, I would say, interpersonal problems when, he stood behind while Steve went on to live the rest of his life back in the day. And, you can see in the show he had a lot of come to terms with trying to be a hero right after he had just thrown the villain aside. Having to come to grips with the new time and everything, because in that time, Bucky was more soldier than man.
Yeah.
All he knew was basically torture, death, and destruction. And it was hard for him, hence why he needed to see a therapist. The therapist did not care. She was going to try to find a way to fix Bucky, even if it meant being a dick to him. But no. Number 9 being Captain America and the Winter Soldier, I think that's a pretty decent ranking.
I agree. Felix, what's the next one?
For number 8, again, pretty decent ranking. Did not hate it. Did not think it was perfect, but did not hate it. Captain America: Civil War. A team up like no other. And yes, I agree. The Civil War comics were a pretty interesting set of comics written by Stan Lee. A great team built on justice and avenging anyone who was hurt or just done wrong from threats on-world and off-world. Now this once great unit severed in two by two great leaders who could not see eye to eye on certain things. Iron Man, who believed basically they needed to be put on a leash and not run free. Whereas Captain America believed, the best powers to handle us are us.
Yep.
We started this. We came together when no one else did, and the best thing for us would be in our hands, as what Steve Rogers believed. If I had to choose sides, I think I would go with Steve Rogers, because I feel like in a day and age like this, you have all that power, and you put it into the hands of, say, a governing body like Congress, Europe, or the House of Parliament, or anyone out in the world. You're more liable, instead of being put on a leash, to be basically someone else's mad dog and turn to a whole nother perspective. So,
yeah, when I first watched this movie, I liked it, because it was pretty much, it was Civil War, but it was basically Captain America. It was a Captain America's film, but it was basically Captain America versus Iron Man for most of the time, until near the end. Spoiler warning, by the way.
my man, this movie came out in 2016. They know what happens.
Yeah, but still. But it was nice. I mean, you had Team Captain against Team Iron Man. Team Steve, I mean. Team Steve consisting of Hawkeye, Bucky, Scarlet Witch, Ant-Man, and Anthony Mackie against Team Tony, which was, oh my god, what's his face?
Team Iron Man, which consisted of Iron Man, War Machine, Black Panther, who that was his debut for
the MCU.
Chadwick Boseman. Oh my god, the real live true king of the jungle right there, all around king altogether. May he rest in peace. Chadwick Boseman did a fantastic Black Panther.
Spider-Man.
Oh yes, Tom Holland's Spider-Man coming to the big screen for the first time. Spider-Man coming into the MCU at all. Fantastic.
Yeah, this was prior to what? Spider-Man Homecoming?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's one more. There was one more person I believe I'm missing. Vision also being on Iron Man's team. So it was a very intense and powerful mashup. And I believe the rating that it's at right now, I think it fits it very well. So again, on number 8 of the top 10 list, being a 7 out of 8 on IMDb.
7.8, yeah. At number 7, we have the movie pretty much that launched...
Started it all. The movie that started it all.
Iron Man.
The Iron Man. Starring Mr. Robert Downey Jr., RDJ. This man is born and made for the role of Tony Stark. No one else even comes to a close second.
Yep.
I don't even want to hear bullshit about Tom Cruise coming in and filling in. Nah, fuck that. Get out of here.
Stan Lee has said Robert Downey Jr. was born to play the role of Tony Stark.
This movie did not only start a whole franchise, but from what I read, saved RDJ's life too. For anyone that paid attention to the man, he was struggling with drug problems with the law, his marriage problems. He had so much going on for him, and then all it took was for this one role in 2008 to set him on a way better path. There would be no MCU without Iron Man. There would be no MCU without RDJ.
Yeah, he had done Tropic Thunder prior to this.
After.
I thought it was prior.
You sure?
Yeah, I thought it was prior. I thought I saw Robert Downey Jr. do an interview with Joe Rogan and saying how he did Tropic Thunder before this. I could be wrong. No,
I mean that's a fair point. Listen, you have your source of info. My memory is the only information I can rely on. So
yeah,
we both. But yes, Tropic Thunder did come out around this time too. But this movie right here, a 7.9 out of 10. I'm gonna take that. It was an amazing acting, amazing way to start a story. The first Mark III suit, oh my god. The badass scene against when he takes on the 10 rings. Oh my god. Just, he was everything. He is, and forever will be, Iron Man.
Exactly.
So,
no one else will top. No one else can come in and fill.
I don't care if they even have successors coming in. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man.
Yep.
For number 6 on this list, and I'm so happy to talk about this one right here.
Oh God.
Thor Ragnarok. The third out of the 4 movie series revolving around Thor, the God of Thunder, played by none other than Australian eye candy, Chris Hemsworth.
Yep.
Oh my God. This was such a great movie.
It was.
I can't even, like, it had so much to do with Thor coming to, coming into being a hero and doing his own thing for a time. He takes on the God of Fire in his stories, Suitor, and now he has to deal with his brother Loki all over again. They tend to what's the term? Not redefine. Revisit their brother relationship, and
rekindle would have been a nice word too. But
well, I mean rekindle, yes, but it had to take them being put together in a fight pit, kidnapped, and
it took them pretty much fighting their own sister to bring them together.
I will say this: Thor's family in this movies. Oh my God, does he have problems?
It's more.
He's got problems.
It's more than a Teen Mom 2 episode or some shit.
But yes, the best scene I will appreciate in this movie is Thor realizing he is and the only thing needed to create lightning, for he is the God of Thunder, as told by his father. Odin, who is played by Anthony Hopkins, great English actor, Sir Anthony Hopkins, may I just say. He was knighted by the Queen Elizabeth, may she rest in peace.
Are you Thor, the God of Hammers? I am God of Thunder.
I'm not as strong as you. I'm not as strong as you. No. You're stronger. Well, it's such a great scene. And then hearing the
my hammer.
And then hearing the Immigrant Song, played by none other than
Led Zeppelin.
Oh my God, coming in to just Thor going ham on everyone. And introducing also as Valkyrie, Tessa Thompson.
Oh,
an amazing African American actress with so much great range. Oh my God. She really did justice for the films, and Hulk, coming back and forth, Bruce Banner and Hulk in that movie.
One of my favorite scenes, though, is near the end of the movie, when Helga is looking at them, and she's like, "You can't beat me." And Thor looks at her, he says, "I know, but he can." And then you see the god of, fire or whatever.
The fire giant Suitor come from above, and basically destroying, Asgard,
Ragnar,
but just committing Ragnarok, which is the death and destruction of Asgard.
Ragnarok is inevitable.
Ragnarok is inevitable, for he is inevitable. But again, great movie all around, which also led up to Infinity War. Oh, also great movie, but that'll probably be on the list. This next one, number 5 on the list.
Yep.
The first ever team up of all Marvel characters put into one. And I will gonna say big shout out and a big thank you to the Russo brothers for creating this film. The Avengers, which shot and came out in 2012.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. Seeing this in theaters as a 12-year-old kid, I can't tell you how much it had brought so much joy to my heart. And I'm sure any boy who is now a man at my age, 23, across America, who saw this for the first time in theaters, Captain America, Iron Man, Hawkeye, Thor, Black Widow, and Hulk come together and just rain down all hell on the Chitauri, which is the army to the Mad Titan Thanos, trying to kick Loki's ass because Loki trying to be the evil trickster that he is.
Of course, as always. I mean, it's always up to no good.
This film was a great compilation of so much made separately and brought together. The value of a team up. 8 out of 8, ranked as number 8 or 8.0 out of 10 on the list on IMDb. And you know what? I'm gonna fucking take that. I'm gonna take that.
I know. So will I. That was a really good movie. I love.
Great.
Like I said earlier in the podcast, I like overly action movies. So for this was a phenomenal movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love this movie. You have one of my favorite Marvel characters in the universe, Hawkeye. You got a bunch of people. You got Steve Rogers. We got Thor. We have Black Widow. We have Iron Man. We have the Incredible Hulk.
Amazing.
Stop it.
Amazing film. Now, here we go to number 4 on the list.
Come and get your love.
If you guys can't take away from that song, then you're a little slow. But if you do, Guardians of the Galaxy coming in 2 years
The first
after.
one.
Yes.
Volume 1.
The first one coming in 2014, 2 years after Avengers, rocks its way into the hearts of all fans. And boy, does that statement ring true.
That statement could not be any truer if it tried.
Seeing this trailer, me personally, I had no idea who the hell the Guardians of the Galaxy were.
They call
No.
themselves the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Watching this trailer on my phone with the mashup and clips or whatever, you know, basically your average team of Avengers, but in space. They protect Earth, and them are, you know,
They're
one
like
of many
the-
planets that they guard the whole galaxy, basically.
They are the bounty hunter version of the Avengers.
In space.
Yes.
In space. They...
Who instead of doing it to save the world, they do it for money.
Yes, but, you know, it's a little bit of back and forth. Like,
Well,
you
they
know,
do it for currency, yeah.
they do it for some good, some bad, a little bit of both. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's what makes up the team defining itself all together. Chris Pratt played an amazing Star-Lord.
Yep.
Bradley Cooper coming in as the engineering madman mammal known as Rocket Raccoon. Holy shit, was he such a great character.
Yo,
As always-
you know who else? Great character? Dave Bautista as Dax the Destroyer. As Drax the Destroyer.
Dax?
It's Dax!
Shut up.
Drax the Destroyer.
Stop. Yes. Dave Bautista, man owner of the Bautista Bomb, coming off of WWE, which I read actually the Guardians of the Galaxy movie and all Marvel movies he's been in saved him a little bit as well. While he was indeed a little bit of struggle coming out of WWE, but this put him back on the map. So happy to hear that for Dave, and of course 2 more actors, an actor and actress. Zoe Saldana, for any of you guys who don't know her, she played her breakthrough role as Nyota Uhura in Star Trek films,
Yep.
and Neytiri in both the Avatar films. Oh my god, great films all around, great films.
Yep.
And who rocked her way into this role playing Gamora, the most deadly female assassin in all the galaxy.
And why is that? Why would she be the most deadly? She is the daughter of the Mad Titan himself.
That's right.
Mr. Thanos.
Good point on that one. She is the adopted daughter of the Mad Titan Thanos. She was engineered partially, not like her psychotic sister Nebula, but to basically be trained to kill without hesitation and no remorse.
And I think you're missing one, Felix. I mean, I think we're missing a little tree. Mr. Groot. Mr. I am Groot.
You're
Mr. Vin Diesel.
Don't undersell this too much, buddy. But yes, Vin Diesel, who is known for Dominic Toretto in the Fast and Furious films, plays and voices the legendary.
X.
Yeah, don't worry.
Triple X,
We're getting to this. We going to Marvel. We going to other movies too.
Sure. No. Well, to be fair, I mean, you just went with Fast and Furious, so.
Okay. All right. Okay. But yes, Vin Diesel voices the legendary tree warrior known as Groot, who has been Rocket's main muscle and is really just a heartwarming character all around.
He's kind of a comedy relief when Drax and Mantis aren't there to provide the comedy.
Right.
I
Nothing.
am Groot.
Really, that's all we can really get out of this motherfucker.
Name.
But yes, it is ranked number 4 on the top 10 list, and with a solid 8.0 off
Out of
IMDb. Out of 10, yes.
I think you'll like this next one.
I got this.
No, number 3?
I got this.
Okay.
For number 3, and I cannot express any more love into this movie than I think any one of us. Coming out in 2021, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Find me Peter Parker.
This movie was the biggest dream come true to anyone that is my age or younger or older who was born around the time of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, because my god, did we want so much out of him, but we couldn't due to other reasons with Sony and filming. Here we are years later, we get Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. my God, did he play an amazing Peter Parker. Was throwing jokes and hands on these bastards left and right.
He didn't give a shit.
Tom Holland, I'll say this film paved the way for Tom Holland Spider-Man for him to really become Spider-Man.
Badass.
Become badass whatsoever. Willem Dafoe in this film was the pinnacle Green Goblin.
Bad guy.
For he was a fucking menace. And just watching the fight scenes between him and Tom Holland, it was a whole different feeling for me in my perspective because I'm watching Tom Holland take on Toby's bad guy. But holy shit, were there so much hands getting thrown in this film? Were they not?
Oh my God. There is an official June 1st will forever be known as Willem Dafoe Day because it is the end of May. Oh my God, that was a sad scene though, but still.
That scene right there is what needed to happen to make Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
I don't want to repeat what Felix said, but I guess you could say it was a canon event.
Oh my fucking God.
It was something every Spider-Man has to go through to
It does.
become a better Spider-Man.
For every lesson a Spider-Man needs to learn, I will say is this: you just being a hero for any job, and I think this saying applies to anyone that's have a life or death work out there. Is you can't always save everyone.
With great power comes great responsibility.
I thought you were gonna say big booty bitches, but you know what? Yeah, we'll go with that one. But yes, this movie and this effect it had in the theaters. Holy shit! Even though we weren't in some big theater, boy, was it really packed. Seeing everyone get excited, their hands clapping, the voices, the screaming in the theaters. That was the most noise I've ever heard in a theater whatsoever. Between that and some baby crying.
Find Me Peter Parker and Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire popped through. I was like, yo, they fucking did it.
The dream came true for any one of us.
Not only that, who else did they have in there? Daredevil. Charlie Cox.
That's right. Which
stop it.
I'm glad they followed that through the comics because yes, how Daredevil and Spider-Man meet. Peter Parker's having some legal issues and he goes to Matt Murdock for help. Who yes, played by Charlie Cox, who is going up for an Emmy in Daredevil. So I would say Charlie Cox is well deserved in that, and he plays an amazing.
Well deserved role. I mean, I like Ben Affleck, but I don't know. I just didn't like his role as. When he played Daredevil. I don't think he was good.
I think he did a better Batman. But,
yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home, ranked number 3 out of 10 on this list, with an 8.3 out of 10 on IMDb. Definitely belongs there.
Number 2, we have the first of 2 in this series. Avengers Infinity War.
This is the second Avengers film made by the Russo brothers.
Yes. One of the greatest movies. Probably would be the best Marvel movie if number 1 was not made. Honestly.
True. Successfully brings the MCU together, and yes.
You had the group up of every Marvel superhero in the universe. I'm talking Black Panther, Captain America, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Falcon, Iron Man, Spider-Man. Every movie character that you could think of was in this movie that came out before March of 2019. Everyone you could think of. And that ending scene, I'm not gonna lie, I cried a little bit.
Brought tears to my eyes. But
you know what?
Seeing Tom Holland grab RDJ like that, you can't tell me.
I don't feel so good.
You can't tell me you watched that movie and did not cry. Because if so, then you have no fucking soul whatsoever.
But this movie would set up for the even greater next film, which will be number 1 on this list. Avengers Endgame.
Number 1.
Oh my
Avengers
God.
Endgame.
One of the most highest box office drawing movies in the world ever made. It passed Avatar for...
Brief minute.
Yes, a brief minute. Which, Avatar, as you know, grossed over $1 billion at the box office while it was out.
As the website says... Sorry, go ahead.
No, what were you going to say? As the website says?
As the website says, Endgame basically draws the Infinity Saga to a heroic and fantastic closing.
Yeah.
Watching all these...
Couldn't agree more.
Watching the Avengers of what they have is a small ragtag team doing as Ant-Man put it, a time heist, and having to go back in time to fix a problem and come back to bring all the Infinity Stones together and draw everyone back home, which the plan did work, but also Thanos, being the mad and cunning titan that he is, manages to break through and ends up restarting the whole fight all over again.
I am inevitable.
Mm-hmm. And then we get one of the most best and finishing badasses. The great final battle scene, I will say, watching the portals open and seeing all the heroes come back alive.
Avengers!
And yes, after 11, 10, I don't know how many years until we got to hear Captain America finally say it, but Avengers!
Assemble.
And just seeing everyone go off on that field.
God.
I chills down my fucking spine. That was perfect. Again, there will not be in a better Avengers film without the Russo brothers, because they knew what the hell they were doing. And then yes, the victory was sweet but bitter as we see Iron Man taking the Infinity Stones and just
snapping away Thanos.
Just ending it with this will be his, I would say, best iconic scene next to him saying it by himself in the first film, but just watching him take the stones and repeating these 3 words. I am Iron Man. And snapping him to oblivion. I ended up having to go back and see the scene where they all kneel for Iron Man. Because it was awesome. It was amazing.
Oh yeah.
You can't, this was the culmination of our entire childhood. Us being grown now at 19 to see this film.
I mean, this film pretty much kills off 3 characters. 2 main characters and 1 side one. In Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, and Black Widow.
Yes, a good chunk of the original Avengers have hung up their suits and everything, and decided to go on. RDJ's character, who had sacrificed his life, Steve Rogers, who went back in time after returning the stones, decided to get himself a good life, a normal life, alongside Agent Carter, who he loved
Peggy.
with every fiber of his being.
You gonna tell me about her?
Uh-huh.
Nah, I don't think I will.
And then Black Widow sacrificing her life, her one life that needed to keep everybody going.
For the Soul Stone.
For the Soul Stone, yes. I watched the whole film, buddy. But yes, it is ranked at the top of the list with a solid 8.4 out of 10 on IMDb.
Should have been higher. Should have been at least in 9. 8.99.
Well, you gotta really watch what you're looking for with certain movies like that, because 8.9 or 9.9 or even in the 9 out of 10s, what movies are ranked 9 out of 10, bro?
What?
Well, I'll give you this. Let me give you an example. The first 2 Godfather films.
That's fair.
The first Godfather, 9 out of 10. Godfather 2 was better than the first one. Came out of 9.2 out of 10.
Wow.
So when you watch those movies, you'll know and try to focus and look for what certain actors, or not certain actors, certain critics see to give them that ranking.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this was an amazing list to go over, and it fills me with joy to talk about movies, especially Marvel movies. So that was awesome.
And while we're on the subject of movie, Felix, Our last topic for the day that I wanted to get into was, did you see they announced a new Watchmen movie? Personally, I haven't heard of the Watchmen ever. I'm sure my best friend over here will enlighten me on what exactly the Watchmen are and what they do and what purpose they serve.
Yes. So, being that a new Watchmen film is coming out, the Watchmen are DC made film, or the comics are basically made by DC itself, and the original movie came out in 2009, a film made by the visionary director himself, Zack Snyder, who gave us a few good movies later on, thinking 300, 302, The Watchmen, Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. I don't give a shit what anyone else says. When anyone else says...
I ain't gonna say nothing.
1 second, yo.
You okay?
Damn it. Ow.
You alright?
I dropped my device. Damn it. Hold on, y'all. Technical difficulties. Here. I got it. Got it. Sorry, y'all. Technical difficulty.
Technical difficulty.
But yes, the Watchmen, basically, the best example I can give it, think reverse Justice League.
Ooh.
So, the lineup for, I would say, this team of super beings. I won't call them
anti-heroes?
No. They were heroes. They were heroes. But it takes place in a time of, let's see, what was it? The Cold War? And this comic, basically, the Watchmen, or the Crime Busters, as they call themselves in these comics, are basically sometimes anti-heroes, sometimes actual heroes that just, they operate outside the law and are willing to do a little bit more harm than good to, well, basically be good. You have Silk Spectre, number 2, who is Laurie Jupiter. She's basically a badass in a really tight suit, as much as I can say. Also, not to be disrespectful, but kind of a slut. Joe Osterman, who is the OP powerhouse of the whole Watchmen, known as Dr. Manhattan, made around the time during the Manhattan Project, a scientist trapped in a nuclear room that went haywire and basically made him super radioactive and gave him a lot of godlike powers. Adrian Vaught, who is known as Ozymandias, the brightest and smartest man in the whole world, turns out to be the main antagonist. Tries to control the world, as they say. Walter Kovacs, a.k.a. Rorschach, a basically very blunt, and badass hero who wears a special type of mask that makes therapeutic ink blotches all over his face, shape-shifting to certain faces. My God, is he a savage. That man gives zero fucks. And Daniel Dryberg, who is the second Night Owl, a man who was known at the time to be invested in banking, but decided to switch it up and work out more and basically become a badass superhero, taking all of his inheritance into making him the Night Owl. Basically a reverse Batman. But yes, it's a very interesting mashup of heroes.
That is one name I noticed on this list, Felix, is Jeffrey Dean Morgan is in this movie. He plays Edward Blake. What can you tell me and the audience about Edward Blake?
Well, Edward Blake in the movie is known as the comedian, who his name itself is supposed to be a bit of like a rhetorical thing. He laughs at certain things in the world. Just, it could be anything: pain, joy, the government, certain things going wrong in the world, and he just, he braves it with a smile, joking about every damn thing. He was known to be a former cop and a military man, and he ends up just, becoming a
you know, an even harder, more depressed, but also badass hero.
Sorry, we got a special guest. What's up, special guest?
Mascot for the podcast, we call him Moxley.
Yeah. Moxley's just walking around, looking around like, what am I doing? But anyways, folks, I mean, that is all for our podcast. Unless you have something else, Felix. I mean, do you have something else to bring up? You know, you want to talk about it? You want to discuss? You want to enlighten us about?
No.
Well, I don't have anything either, so...
As expected.
As always, leave your feedback in the comments. Subscribe, like, comment, share, please. We'd really appreciate that. As for a whole, we'll see you next week, I guess. Felix?
See y'all next week.
Me and my buddy, we making all of this money. Yeah, I know it's rude to be bragging. They never catching us slacking. Me and my buddy, we working hard for this money.